Hello. Good morning and good evening to all of you. This is Upendra Roy, Director, Career Reengineering. And let me put the context of this talk show. The main context of this talk show is to help graduate or the person professional who started their career in core IT, and due to whatever reason they need some guidance. They are doing it, but somehow they are not able to just feel that yes, whether I'm going to in right direction or not. So that is the whole context of this particular show. And the main part, who will give guidance? That is the main thing. We always seek for validation. And whenever we are just, I remember to start with my career, I was doing okay, but whether I'm doing okay or not, who will give that guidance to us? And what I personally feel, if somebody is already there in the industry for a long time, if he or she can come and give us some guidance, our career will be altogether in a different level. So coming back to the context, okay, the main program, what we are just starting now, it's a college to corporate with Upendra and Mir Ali. So let me just give you some context or some brief idea, intro about Mir. So he's having around 18 plus years of rich experience related to IT. And if I'll start just speaking on that domain, it will be too long. Okay, so I'm just not going to be each and every detail what as a whole experience he have, but yes, mainly we are talking about the new technology, right? In IT, though we are talking in IT. So which all of the new technology we all are. So he is one of the master on those technology. You can just name it DevOps. You can give that DevSecOps, data science. It's a very hot. Everybody in college or just when we pass out, it's a data science. Then the product development, then enterprise architecture and agile transformation, and one of the most complex part, that is the team leadership. He's one of the great leader. And let me, before just welcoming him, let me just show you all one thing. And just give me few seconds on that, and you all will come to know. He just received a couple of days back top 50 Tech Leader Award. So this itself speaks about his technical grip, technical expertise, and ultimately he is going to help us in next half an hour into this. That means as a whole, how you are going to, in which domain and why part. Okay, so let me welcome Okay, so welcome Mir and welcome to the show, the story that impact career.
Thank you, Pedro. I'm looking forward to having a chat and share my experience and see what, there's a lot that I've learned and I want to share that experience with everyone who's listening.
Yeah, thank you. And it's a really honor to meet you in my show. And we will have this two part in this talk. So the number one, I would like you to just share your own experience starting from struggle and right now where you are. So this two part. And the second part, when I'll come, I'll just again ask you to give advice to that means the college pass out student or the professional who just started their career. So to start with, just let's have your little story with struggle and success.
Sure. So I'm going to break it down in few parts. So I'm going to give a little bit intro about myself, who I am. So it's a good to know. So obviously my name Mir Ali. So and I live in Chicago with wife and 4 kids. So 2 girls and 2 boys. And I studied in U.S. and in Chicago, and I graduated from Northern Illinois University, DeKalb. Major in information system and accounting. Yeah, and I've been in IT, I think it's 18, 19 plus years. And like you said, experience, a wide variety of experience, like you have said, right? Leading teams across various industries, right? Restaurant industries, financial services, insurance, travel, transportation, automotive, and just IT in general. And the other thing that I like the people to know is, like, me and my wife and with her, some friends, we started a nonprofit school about 7-8 years ago. And so I am the president for the school, and it's called Carriers of Light. So the name has the meaning here, Carriers of Light. And it's a private school based in Wheaton, Illinois. And it's been almost 8 years since we've started. So we're going strong, and I spent a lot of time with that school. And when I do, things that I like to do, right? I mean, born in India and raised here, so I'm still passionate about cricket. So that's my thing. So I like playing cricket, and I still play and active. And I enjoy traveling, so that's why I probably met you guys back in United.
Mir, I want to stop you here. So, though you mentioned the cricket, so can you please give me a little bit context on this picture? What is in front of you? So I got it. Simply I was going through your profile. So some input about this.
Sure. So this is a championship that we won about 2 years ago, back in 2019. So I play for a team called Windy City. It's a team that I sort of helped start, and I've been playing for that team for about 15 years plus. And so it is it is a league championship we won, and I got the MVP for the game as well.
Oh.
So that's the picture from there. I'm surprised.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
So going back to my career, right? So wanted to sort of delve into it and where I start. So where do I work today? So I work for a company called Second Watch, right? So it's a company born in cloud, and I work in that company as a practice director. So I lead the advisory and transformation services. And on top of that, I work as a field CTO in that organization. And what Second Watch does is 2 things, right? Managed services. They manage cloud for clients, any cloud, right? AWS, Azure, GCP. And they also have professional services on. As part of professional services, they do cloud migration, app modernization, advisory services, and security and compliance. So do little, forgot data and analytics. So we have about core 4 pillars, and we do little, but we do well. We're known for that. And, it's a small company with the big hearts and champions in it.
Great.
But before, where I started, right? So this is where I am. Where I started, so this goes back to like 2000, early 2000. I started with the Big 5 consulting. So I spent time with Ernst & Young, which later on became Capgemini. So I spent some time with Capgemini doing some consulting in ERP, SAP, and then moving to Siebel. And as I realized the time commitment and the travel requirement, I quickly shifted my career from consulting back into more of a corporate role. So spending 5 years or so in consulting, I moved into a favorite industry of mine, which I met you there, is United Airlines, where I spent a majority of my career there, about 8 years, and I've thoroughly enjoyed each and every year, every role that I did and people that I made and relationships I've made there. So it's still today. I mean, me and you are talking, and it's because the relationship you're with. It's not because I did a phenomenal job delivering some product, but it just we build that relationship. So we're still here. So from United, I moved on to a company called Here, where I went into to establish a development center in Chicago, and worked there as a senior manager for engineering, leading some really big data analytics platform traffic, and worked as a chief of staff there, which is kind of new role to me, but I enjoyed that. And from there on, I moved to Fitch, which is where my experience working in here, doing some cloud transformation and analytics and DevOps and all of that experience that I took to Fitch, where I was the head of platform engineering there. So DevOps, agile, data engineering, data analytics, and getting into more. So I had a lot of experience, and I thoroughly enjoyed it because I was doing many things and I was enjoying it. It's something that kept me motivated. And then finally, I'm here, right? I'm enjoying that. This is a very different shift in the career, right? The career it's all about where you want to go, what risk are you willing to take, right? Nothing comes. The higher the risk, the higher the reward, right? However, you have to take calculated risk. And that's a risk I took. And I said, I've not worked in consulting, especially in the sales and sales role or individual contributor role. So I said I wanted to try this out. So that's why I took this role more on the sales side, more on field CTO, which is more of an advisory to the to technology executive, and then also leading a practice of advisory. So
okay, great. So here I want to just take to the context. In last 18 long years, definitely it's as you said, it's nothing comes free and it's a challenge. So can you please just come with maybe one or two biggest challenge you went through and what you did to overcome with that? This is just to the context because a lot of guys I'm interacting with, they used to say, sir, we are having this challenge, that challenge, is as if nobody have faced challenge. So it's a part of, so taking those kind of questions, definitely the struggle and what you did to overcome with that.
Sure. So, I mean, like you said, right, challenges are part of life, right? Every phase of life has a challenge, right? And as you grow, there's a different challenge, right? In the beginning, there's a challenge. In the middle, when you're somewhat senior. So challenges are there. So I think that's number one people should keep in mind. It's not going to go away. It's cradle to grave. That's the thing. Now, what challenges I faced when I was sort of coming into the field, coming out of college, and sort of transitioning into my work life. So, number one thing, when I stepped in, I was like lack of direction. I was like, I didn't know what I want to do. I just knew it's like I want to be in a cool company. Big Five was the big craze, so everyone wants to do. So I just knew that I just wanted to go in there. I said, I'll figure it out when I get there. So I didn't have a whole lot of direction. Then the second thing that I sort of was trying to adjust was adjust lifestyle, right? Coming from college life, carefree life, just work and do when you want, how you want. But obviously showing up for exams and doing that's the other thing, but just lifestyle adjustment. And the third big thing I would say is the managing finance, right? All of a sudden you're living on pennies and dollars, and all of a sudden you see big bills and a decent amount. So I was very blessed to have a really good high paying job coming out of college. I would say I was in the top 10-15% to get a raise. I mean, I remember when I was graduating, before I accepted the offer, I had close to 6 or 7 offers in my hand. I had to pick between Accenture and Deloitte and Capgemini or Ernst & Young and some other corporate. So I had to pick which one I want. So I was very, very blessed. So managing finance was the thing. And the last one I wanted to add was the work-life balance. I think as I started consulting, that's when I lost work-life balance, and all of a sudden I'm like in the office from sunrise to sunset, and sometimes in the midnight. So that's those things that I struggled quite a bit in my early part of the career.
Okay, great. Thanks for just giving some context on it. Yeah, coming back to the next part, that again, a lot of challenges while just what you mentioned, that while transitioning from college to so-called corporate or in our IT. So you said that you had a handful of offer, right? So for that, what preparation you did? What extra you did it so you are making sure that okay, I'm going to have 3, 4, or 5 offer, and what you would like to advise to right now younger generation, what they are about to just start a career?
So number one, I mean, right in the college itself, right? I mean, I made sure the work that I did was in line with with the career that I want to go in. So, for example, within the campus, I worked in the computers and IT division, right? So I had experience. I started working with the Novell network. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah,
Novell
yeah.
network, right?
Well,
So I was a network admin, and I fixed computers. So I had a really good understanding of hardware, and I had understanding of like logins and domains. I focused on area that I want to go, and then two, I made sure I planned for internship. So regardless, so summer is an internship, so I made sure I did internship, and then I also made sure that my part-time job is also something related to in technology field. So I made sure I was in the field and I was learning. So I didn't want it to be showing up at work and no real world experience. That's so internship and also my part-time work was in line with technology. And then two was uh, I took advantage of career fairs, right? College would have career fairs and networking events and all of that. I just went and asked questions. Right? Just be curious. Just ask what are you looking for? Everybody knows, right? Coming out of college, you're not a champion who would come deliver. What they're looking for is, are you passionate about technology? Are you passionate about what you do? And do you have the attitude? Can you overcome? Can you, if you were to thrown in a problem, can you figure your way out, right? So they're looking for your IQ and EQ and soft skills to really understand it. And I had an idea of what that meant, so I focused on that. So going into interviews, I was very well prepared for scenario questions. What would I do now? What would I do? How would I do? So I had some preparation in there. I had an article on LinkedIn about how preparations is important. You can't just put your luck in front. If the preparation is there, even the luck comes in, you will not be taken advantage. So those are a few things that I did back when in college.
Okay, great. Yeah, that is really going to help the young generation who are just about to start their career or just started now. Coming back to the same context, like two stuff we are having while starting our career. One is the technical part, and another is the non-technical part, right? So nowadays, I personally used to just get n number of questions like, should I go for data science? Should I go for analytics? Should I go for DevOps? So should I go for cybersecurity? So all the top 4 or 5 that technology. So as a whole, what is your advice? Keeping in mind your position, what is going on. So if we want to go for 2, so how to suppose I'm just passing out and about to search job or about to get a little extra skills. How should I prepare? Any advice? People like me, suppose.
So, I mean, look, in terms of the fields that you mentioned, whether it's DevOps or data science or just product engineering or what have you, the big thing is to understand where this all fits into the larger scheme of things in the enterprise, right? Talking about data science, where does data science fit in, and what does it take to put out a product, put out build models, or really do it. So on having an understanding, just having a goal of I want to do DevOps without understanding how DevOps fit in, right? So to me, DevOps is standard. It's as if like how you set up your computer and laptop, and in order to to build a program, that's how DevOps is, to deployment, to delivery, to software development, right? So some of the things are fundamental that you need to have it, but some of the things that goes on top of it. So whether it's data science or product engineering, or if you go into any other aspect of technology. So do not get hung up with big buzzwords or buzz areas. Understand where does it fit in, and see and ask those questions. Understood that you might not know what it means, but ask this question to people and peers, or somebody who's senior in your field, and ask this question. It's like, where does it fit in data science? There's so many variation in data science, right? What do you want to do in data science? There's
Yeah.
the engineering aspect of it. There's just analytical or aspect of it. There's BI aspect. So on having an understanding and asking this question, it's all about asking the question why, right? I mean, we all heard about asking those questions why. Ask why 3 times, 5 times. Just really think what is it you want to do. Don't be in a hurry, uh, and 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 rush through your decision. Understand it, and then lastly, what do you enjoy doing? Do you really enjoy doing mathematical models, sitting there and punching through and going through data and just living data? Or do you really enjoy providing platform? Or do you really enjoy coding? Or what do you enjoy? Like, you want to be able to wake up and think about work as like, oh my God, I love it. I'm going to go kill it today. That's great. But if you say, I hate waking up, I just don't like it, then something is wrong. So you got to be passionate about what you do, right? I mean, and that's something that's always driven me. I want to be excited as to like look forward to the next day. I mean, there will be days here and there, but on the whole, you got to be excited about what you're doing.
Okay, great. So yeah, I'm coming with one that follow-up question on that. So before coming to that, just I'm requesting whoever is just watching, and I know you guys are having a number of questions, and if you want to just put some question to me, we will be happy to help. Or as a whole, we both together we will help you. So the next follow-up question in that, because that's okay, passion and those things they're saying, yes, I am having that interest, but as a fresher, whenever they are coming or going, everybody is asking, do you have experience? So how to start with, what is your advice that every company are looking for experience, right? And by passing out, maybe due to whatever reason, some government job preparation, they used to have 1 year or 2 year gap, right? So if that is the typical situation, and that is a common, at least I came across a lot of guys coming asking this question, sir, I did government some examination preparation, and I got 1 or 2 year gap. So what is your advice? How to cope up with this situation?
So I'm going to put myself in that hiring manager role, right? And I'm going to say, okay, I have a resume of somebody in with me, and I'm going to go through and I say, number one thing I'm going to look at, okay, fresh out of college, coming in, you don't have experience. I said, what have you done apart from college, right? You've done projects, but have you done any extra training? Have you spent any time doing any projects? There's a lot of open source projects. So what have you done to really enhance your skill and bring to the company and the hiring manager, saying that, look, this is the experience I have. I've done some internship, maybe or maybe not, and I've worked part-time, maybe not. But here are some projects. Here are things that I went above and beyond. What I'm looking as a hiring manager there is like, what have you done above and beyond? I said, show it. I said, here's the site I built. Here's the code I wrote. Here's the article I published, or whatever it is, right? Show that even though I didn't have it, I made sure I did experience, right? If you were to do Coursera or Linux Academy or any other learning platform, they have projects, programs. List that out. So experience doesn't mean that you have deployed software in production. Experience means I understand the end-to-end life cycle, and I know what it takes to build it out, right? So to me, those things are important, and I think that will help.
Yep. Yeah, that is a really great answer. And yes, as a whole, they need to just work on some other project. They need to spend some time. It's not that whatever time they need to understand the basic, and the skills, basically, whatever they have to just spend some time on it. And definitely that is going to help you. It makes sense. Now, related to the same thing, same age group, that means starting from this after passing out college, searching for job, or they are into job, they want to switch. So apart from that, technical skills, what you have just suggested, any suggestion to acquire non-technical skills that may boost or may help in their future career? Non-technical skills.
Yes, I think that plays a bigger role as you grow in your career. Non-technical skills are key. I mean, I have an article, Upendra, and I'll give you the link. It's on LinkedIn as well. It's why soft skills are the new hard skills. It's the title of the article that I wrote. And
Okay.
the focus of that is what aspects of communication and soft skills that we need to focus on. So please share that. So I think soft skills are important for your job, and what I meant is being collaborative, having that communication skill, focusing on networking, right? So these are some of the, and you can go deep down in each one of them, right? When it comes to communication, right? Presentation skills, your writing skills, right? That's important. And overall, just your social interaction, right? How do you, within the office, within the environments and outing, how do you behave? How do you talk? How do you build? A lot of work and a lot of things you move up. It's not because you are just an ace engineer. It's also because how well you're perceived within the within your circle, with your group, your team, right? It's like, is this a person that I would like to work with? I understand this person is a champion, but is this a champion that I want to be around? Does he have social etiquettes? Does he have communication etiquettes? Right. So these are things that are looked upon very highly, and these are things that's going to really set you apart from a just a core technical person. So having a combination of technical and non-technical skills, right? I mean, we keep hearing about, having a high EQ, right? It says, right, the person with the highest EQs makes the most CEOs. And why? Because they just understand what it takes to really run a company, and they focus on those skills. And same thing. Nothing changes here in whatever level we are, right? I mean, if you need help and you're asking somebody with a tone which is more humbling, a tone which is requesting, that's a different thing rather than commanding somebody.
Wow.
Simple
Yeah.
example. But you can go on. So I think this is something that is very, and you live in an environment of collaboration. People listen to you, listen to your tone, and listen to your verbal or sometimes body clues to really understand, right? Your smile, your hand, body movement. So these are all important aspect of it, as like how you are presenting yourself. So
Okay. Yeah, that's really great. That insightful that reply. It's really going to help a handful of guys at least who are really struggling now. And I can just relate with that. Whatever you replied, that I was around 7-8 years back. I was just discussing in the interview with my boss, and the same thing. Technically, that guy was too good, but the way he replied the answer, that little bit arrogancy in that sense, and he said, "No, we don't want to take him." So that skill, that is not the technical, that non-technical skills is also very playing its very vital role. So yeah, that's really a great one. Now, so almost we are done with the main part. So now a couple of basic questions. Okay, and it's related to your personal experience again. So one of the main question that impact my career to start with, the book. So question to you, which book to start with your career, or maybe in a little advanced stage of your career, which book just change your thought process, or whatever means building your own character, basically. So which book you just read, and that gave you something different level of thought and a different level of expertise as a whole?
So First, I was never a good reader or never an interested reader. And I said, I've learned in college, I've experienced, I'm good. I'm taking training, I'm doing this, right? So that's the mindset I had for quite some time of my career. And
Okay.
that actually pulled my career down. So it is one of my middle year challenges is that my growth was limited because my thought process, my thinking was not there. It's because I shut down one of the input to your growth, which is reading. So
Mhm.
reading is important, right? I mean, we understand the benefit of reading, right? It increases knowledge, enhances your creativity, builds your writing, speaking, and vocabulary. Builds strong. There's so many benefits, right? I can go on, but that's where somebody advises like focus. And I used to listen to podcasts, and in there, it's like always they mention about books. I was like, something I want to take on. So I took on reading a little bit late in my career, uh, and and there's a lot of books from now till now I've read, both technical and non-technical. I mean, I have a library. I mean, reading a book is also a skill, right? Page cover to page to cover to cover is not the goal. I think that's something that people get wrong. If you get a 400-page book and you said you have to read all of that to say you read a book, that is absolutely a false understanding of reading, right? So the
Okay.
goal is you have a challenge, you have a problem, and you focus on look at areas and people who have done this well. Go do research, read on those topics, and you get it right. A book is written in many chapters. You don't have to know all chapters sometimes to solve a particular problem you are, right? Unless
Mhm.
it's a fable or non a fiction book, then yeah, you like to read the whole story. Anyway, so going back to the book that I think there's about 4 to 5 books, they're mostly non-technical books that have really helped me uh, with my leadership skill, my thought process, handling of people, and just overall as a growth. So one book that really is top of my list is called Essentialism. It's by it's a disciplined pursuit of less. So basically, the focus is more is not good, less is good, right? And this book just opened my eyes. I was like, oh my god, right? And it changed me personally and how I do things uh, in my personal life and also in work. It was by author Greg McCune. And then the other one was High Performing Habits. It's by Brendan Bouchard. Uh,
Mhm.
and he does an excellent job. He's like one of the top speakers in the world, along with Tony Robbins and others, right? Very well sort of. And he wrote this book. It's amazing. So basically, he walks you through habits that will really get you at your peak. And so, time to time, go back and read those habits. The other one is a book. Since I'm in consulting, I've done consulting. I've read. It's called Getting Naked. It's by Patrick Lencioni. It is amazing book. It's written in a story style. What it tells you is like how to be a customer focused person, how to really be a trusted advisor to your customer, and how to really handle it. And it's amazing. It's a small, short book, 200 pages, but amazing. That's book something I read into it. And then the other one is called "What Got You Here Won't Get You There." It's by Marshall Goldsmith. So this is something that I think somebody in 2 years, 3 years at IT should read this. So basically, it tells us like, don't expect what you've done in 2 years will get you to the next 4 years in the top level. No, you got to start. You got to start. And the last one on the technical side, which book? I mean, is the Phoenix Project. I mean, it's a famous DevOps book by Gene Kim, and there's many versions of it, but this is like my favorite book. And I learned DevOps from this book, and it sometimes reminds you of United Airlines if you read it. So these are a few books. I have many. It was one of the hardest things to me to do is put this list together out of all.
Okay.
But hopefully this would help and help you as overall as a person, both technical and from a personal life.
Okay, great. Thanks much, Mir, for this is really insightful. And yes, now we are moving to the last part of our show, and that is it's a for me personally, it's a you can say it's a game changer for my entire career. And this question to you is, what is the importance of mentor in as per you, everybody's life or your life,
So,
your own experience on it.
so I'm very passionate and I'm very emotional about this topic. So I believe as an individual, you should have, it's a must to have a mentor in life, right? And mentor doesn't need to be anybody different, right? Your dad could be a mentor. Your mom could be a mentor, right? So you need to have and see it from the light. I mean, my dad, in certain sense, is mentor, right? That's number one, right? So number two, you don't need to have only one mentor. So that's some kind of wrong understanding, right? You could have mentors. So I mean, I have mentor both from my career perspective and my personal perspective. That I've joined and that I have, and this is something that late in my career also came about, right? And I had a mentor, and I was like, I just wished I had a mentor 10 years ago when I had this for the first time, especially from a career perspective. And I mean, I had a personal mentor from more from a religious and spiritual side, but from that side. So I think it's absolutely important. And the things that you look for mentor is person who practices what he preaches, he or she, right? You want to identify not any mentor, but a mentor that you can really trust by their decisions, their thought process, trust uh, for who they are, right? I mean, it's the criteria to establish that should be very stringent and strict, and you have to make sure it goes through the criteria. Once you establish it, then you put your trust in it in terms of working with them, right? In terms of not saying blind following because we are all smart, but understand it. When you put a trust, when you ask, you're asking with an intention of that I'm going to follow, right? So,
Oh,
so that's a key thing, right? And I personally had mentor from my career perspective, a person named Sam Moulter. You may or may not know. So he was a, a CTO and slash VP for United for many years, and uh, and I was a technical lead when he was my mentor, and it was just amazing. I just saw him every time how he talked, how he presented, how he just overall. I was just attracted uh, by his interaction and how. And I asked one day, I was like, hey, it's like I've seen it, and I had to go through a process to him, and he really wanted to understand, right? And he talked to me. He understood what he wanted to do in my career and why I needed a mentor. What am I looking to mentor? So he asked me all this questions. So I'm thankful now that I still have him as my mentor, and he's always there as my anchor. Questions, concerns, thoughts, and I think there's many decisions that I need to make that I run it by him because not only his experience, but he just has that wisdom to think through from all angles. Personal. I mean, he has told me flat out, Mir, I would not do that. Put your
oh,
family first. Families first. It's not all about career. Like I've had opportunities where I needed to relocate or needed to make some big changes, and it's like nothing big in life. Focus on your kids. When your kids are grown up, you can think about it. Like so much concern for you and your family because it's like the core to your well-being is your family and the structure of your family and the peace in the family. Like if your foundation is weak, like your relationship with your wife and your kids, then you can't build anything big on top. It's going to fall. You're going to
true.
be lonely in life. So, anyways, I get emotional about this, but that's what I focus on. And then I have another mentor more from a personal and spiritual aspect. He's a doctor, Dr. Hussein Sattar. He gives me principle in life, how to live life with the principle of humility, the principle of gratitude, the principle of just gives me a moral compass to live the life. And how do we and these are the people who motivate me in my lives and gives me the moral compass to make decisions based on that.
Okay, great. Thanks for just answering this in detail. And the last one question I got from one of the guys, yes, question is, yeah, how just as a I started career just a couple of years back. How to search for a mentor? How which all are the parameters I should look for the mentor? So that is, yeah, a little tricky question, but yes. So what is your take on that?
It's the same thing I talked about, right? Criteria. So I'll give you an example of my case. I mean, probably the best, right? So when I was looking for mentor from a career perspective, I looked at who's somebody that I would like to emulate myself and have a such kind of career, right? So whether your goal or destination is to become, head of engineering, CIO, CTO, or to be entrepreneur, whatever it is, right? The line that you want to grow in and you want to see yourself. If I was to ask Brenda, what do you want to be 5 years, 10 years from now, and you imagine certain things and you imagine certain qualities of that role, look for that kind of role, right? Within your circle, within your company, outside of the company, look, search, right? Diamonds are not found on the streets; it's buried inside, and everything that flashes is not gold. So people might be don't go for flashiness also, right? Look for real person, right? So things that fundamental things you have to keep in mind, but then look for these things and then understand, talking to that person, reaching out, showing the desire that you want, that you have, is like, yeah, let's say this person wants to be a top-notch architect in their field, right? See who fits into that role. And LinkedIn has started this whole mentoring thing, right? Look in LinkedIn. Like if you look at LinkedIn, I mean, it will come up. My name will come up as somebody who's open to coaching and mentoring, right? And it doesn't hurt. So going through LinkedIn, going through your network, going through people that you know, and asking, right? And
Yeah,
when you're a mentor and you're sincere to it, right? There's things that you have to do. There's things, hey, right? Uh, take it seriously. Don't take it for granted, right? If you meet, have a connection, a month, 2 months, making sure there's follow-ups, making sure there's there's a whole planning, right? Don't just show up. When you're my mentor, I just showed up. It's like, all right, mate, what do you want to talk about? I was like, I don't know. That's not a
mhm,
use of your time or my time. I was like, but if I come, I give you a heads up, Upendra, these three things I want to talk to you about, and you give a heads up, and Upendra gets the time to think about it. It's like when I show up for that meeting, then Upendra has an idea as to like what is Mir looking for, and what can I offer to him, right? So being prepared is also a big part of the mentorship, successful mentorship, right? Showing
okay,
there casually, hi, hello, that's fine. You can always do that. But if you want something out of it, you got to put something in it.
okay,
And last
great.
one thing that I want my mentor to remind me, right?
Mhm,
The relationship, let's say if it's within the company and this something is senior, do not expect favors. Because I'm your mentee, did not expect favor. That was very clear because that was laid out to me, right? And this person was right up here reporting to CIO, and I'm right up here somewhere in the toad pole. Uh,
mhm.
very clearly said, I'm here. And me and our relationship is outside of work from a mentor. Do not talk because there's three layers, right? Three managers in between before that person. So
Mhm.
let's not bring anything. If there's something, it has to come through right channel. So
Okay,
it's a clear boundaries laid out, and I made sure I never violated that boundaries.
great. Yeah. So that's all, guys, and thank you very much, Mir, for just giving so detailed answer for each and every section. And definitely, it is going to help all the graduates who are just about to start their career, or just they started and just want to just speed up their career. So it's really great talking to you, Mir, and just let's see and talk more frequently, and we all will try to help to all the professionals. So thank you very much.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I want to leave the audience with a few thoughts, right? That
Yep.
this is sort of a key takeaway. Pay attention to continuous learning. Never stop learning. Reading is important, so make it part of your life for your growth. Uh, have a mentor because that's the person who's going to guide you both professionally and personally. And lastly, live a life of purpose. Have a purpose attached to what you do. So with that, thank you so much, and it's great to share what I with you all, with little that I know and little that I've learned. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Mir. Okay, guys, yeah. So hope whatever time most of you, maybe you are watching this recording or maybe you are on live. So hope from Mir we got so many insightful answers, and that is going to help you guys to build your career. Maybe the way you used to think, you have to tweak a little bit, not only technical, you have to focus on non-technical part also. Maybe one of the main part what I got from Mir is just networking. He just repeat this 3 to 4 times. So such an important right now, means nowadays, such an important part is this networking. And now I can feel what is the value of networking. So we can just help personally, professionally, every angle. Okay, so we all have to work on that. And before ending this, the story means which impact our career, there is 2 links in the description, and along with that, you guys have that link for Mir, his profile. If you have any question, you can just connect with him. And if you guys any professional who need any question, concern you have on the career, you can just one link is there, you can go through it. And on another context, if some maybe handful of you are watching this and wants to give impact to our future generation who wants to build their career in IT, just like Mir just came to this and he gave so many insightful things, and that is definitely going to help the coming younger generation or younger people to just build their career. So if you want to just contribute on that, you can just fill that form, and I'll be happy to just connect with you. And I'm just honored to just be you in my soul. So that's it for now, and see you next week with some another professional in IT who is going to give us the particular proper guidance, that, like just what Mir did. So that's it, and thank you guys, and see you soon. Bye.